In Park City, Kansas, Dennis Rader was the model neighbor, family man, church leader, scoutmaster, and city compliance officer. He enforced the rules, led community events, and seemed utterly ordinary. People saw him mowing his lawn, attending church, and teaching kids about honesty. But beneath this facade, something sinister lurked. Rader's public persona was his perfect camouflage, hiding a darkness no one suspected. On one side he was Dennis Rader, the upstanding citizen. On the other, a monster with a name soon to terrify Wichita. No one doubted him. He was trusted, respected, invisible in his normalcy. Life in Wichita felt safe. Families gathered, children played, and evil seemed distant. But evil was already there, living among them, perfectly disguised. The monster was patient, waiting for the right moment to reveal himself. And when he did, the city would never be the same. Sometimes the most ordinary people hide the darkest secrets. The trust people placed in Rader would soon be shattered. He was a man of order, but also a man of chaos. His two worlds were about to collide. The mask would slip, and the truth would horrify everyone. The man next door was not who he seemed. The monster was ready, and soon, Wichita would know his name. January 15, 1974. The Otero family began their day, unaware a stranger had entered their home. This was no robbery. This was the beginning of a nightmare. The intruder called himself BTK, bind, torture, kill. He wanted control, power, and to watch the life fade from his victim's eyes. The Otero's home became a scene of terror, and when it was over, the killer vanished into his ordinary life. Wichita was stunned. Who could do this? The police had few clues. The killer left little behind. He took trophies, mementos of his crimes. This was no ordinary criminal, but a predator who savored the hunt. As Dennis Rader, he was just another neighbor. As BTK, he was a god in his own dark world. Months later, he struck again. Catherine Bright. Her brother survived, giving police their first description. Fear gripped Wichita. This was no isolated crime. A serial killer was loose. People locked their doors, watched strangers, and wondered who would be next. The shadow had emerged, and no one knew where it would fall. BTK's reign of terror had begun. The city's sense of safety was shattered. The killer was methodical, patient, and always one step ahead. He blended in, hiding in plain sight. The police were baffled. The community was terrified. The monster was just getting started. Wichita would never forget the name BTK. The nightmare was only beginning, and the killer was still out there. BTK craved more than killing. He wanted fame. In 1974, he left a letter in a library book taking credit for the Otero murders and revealing his chosen name, BTK. The letter was chilling, filled with details only the killer could know. He taunted police and the public, turning his crimes into a twisted performance. He sent poems, letters, and even suggested new nicknames for himself. BTK wanted recognition. He saw himself as an artist, his murders as masterpieces. His letters fueled citywide paranoia. Anyone could be the killer. The police were flooded with tips, but BTK remained a ghost. He struck again in 1977. Shirley Vian, then Nancy Fox. Each murder intensified the fear, but it was his communication that truly set him apart. The letters gave insight into his mind. Arrogant, intelligent, and utterly remorseless. He was always one step ahead, careful and meticulous. For years, BTK's name haunted Wichita. The killer was everywhere and nowhere. His legend grew with every letter. The police searched for clues, but BTK's mask never slipped. The city waited, terrified, for his next move. And for a long time, it seemed he would never be caught. After 1977, BTK vanished. The killings and letters stopped. Years passed. Wichita began to breathe again, but the fear never fully faded. Had the killer died, moved away? No one knew. The case went cold, becoming a dark local legend. But Dennis Rader was still there, raising a family, leading his church, installing security systems. He lived a normal life, hiding in plain sight. The monster hadn't disappeared, he'd gone dormant. Rader indulged his fantasies in secret, collecting articles, writing journals, reliving his crimes. He stalked new victims, planned attacks he never carried out. The urge was always there, just beneath the surface. He was a predator in hibernation, waiting for the right moment. His family and friends had no idea of the darkness he carried. This silence was perhaps the most chilling part. He could turn the monster on and off. For over 2 decades, he lived 2 lives, mastering both. The good neighbor was also the city's greatest villain. The mask never slipped, and the audience never knew the actor was the villain. In 2004, on the 30th anniversary of the Otero murders, BTK couldn't resist the spotlight. He sent a letter to the Wichita Eagle, including a victim's driver's license and photos. BTK was back, and the city's old fears returned. But the world had changed. Technology was now the police's ally. Rader sent taunting packages, even asking police if a floppy disk could be traced. Police assured him it was safe. He believed them. He sent a disk. It was his undoing. Investigators found Christ Lutheran Church and the name Dennis in the disk's metadata. They quickly identified Dennis Rader, church president, and matched his car to a suspect vehicle. The final piece, a DNA match from his daughter's medical records to evidence from a 1986 murder. The net closed. On February 25, 2005, Dennis Rader was arrested without a struggle. The ghost was caught. BTK's reign ended not by a detective's hunch but by a digital slip. Decades of terror unraveled by a single floppy disk. The city could finally breathe. The monster was unmasked. Justice had arrived. Wichita was free at last. The arrest of Dennis Rader stunned Wichita. The friendly neighbor, church leader, and family man was BTK. His family was in disbelief. They'd lived with a monster and never knew. At the station, Rader confessed in chilling detail. No emotion, no remorse. In court, he recounted his crimes in a flat monotone, correcting prosecutors, almost proud. He saw his victims as objects, part of his fantasy. Sentenced to 10 life terms, Rader would die in prison. Police found binders of plans, trophies, and costumes in his home, a hidden world of horror. The evidence confirmed his double-life boring bureaucrat by day, sadistic killer by night. BTK's story is terrifying not just for his crimes but for who he was. He wasn't a drifter or a madman, he was the man next door. Monsters don't always look like monsters, they can be anyone. They hide in plain sight, darkness masked by normality. That's the final chilling lesson of BTK. You can lock your doors, but you never truly know who's outside, or already inside. Evil can wear any face. The story of BTK is a warning. Trust, but beware. Sometimes the greatest danger is the one you never see coming. And sometimes the monster is the man next door.